Shalom Mishpachim, welcome to His Narrow Bridge. Our time together today is meant to immerse ourselves in the Word of Yahweh. It is meant to be a personal time of connection to the Word for each of us. I will read each word as translated in English in an interlinear Hebrew Bible. These shows are pre-recorded, so I will be in chat when they air. Feel free to use the chat to post anything that comes to your mind as we read the word. We will begin with prayer, followed by time for each of us to say our own personal prayers. Our beloved friend Alan Horvath taught us, make Elohim number one on a list of one. We pray in the name of Elohim, which includes Yahweh, Yeshua, and the Ruach HaKodesh. Thank you, Elohim, for our lives and all you provide. We ask for a hedge of protection around our mishpacha as we pray and study. We love you dearly. We are your children. We come to you with questions as we seek our personal relationships with you. Please help us learn. If any darkness enters our time together, we ask you now to rebuke it. We will now listen to your word as we immerse ourselves in it and let it speak to us.
Luke chapter 4. Now Yeshua, while being filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, returned from Yochanan, and the Spirit led him into the wilderness for 40 days, that he might be tempted by the accuser. And he did not eat anything in those days. And when he had completed them, he hungered at the end. And the accuser said to him, if you are the Son of Elohim, say to these rocks that they should become bread. Yeshua answered and said to him, it is written that man should not live by bread alone, rather by every word of Elohim. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 3. So he humbled you and allowed you to hunger, and fed you with manna, which not you did know, nor did know your fathers, that he might make you know that not by bread alone shall live man, but by every word that proceeds the mouth of Yahweh lives man. Verse 5. And Satan took him up to a high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of earth in a short period of time. And the accuser said to him, I will give all this authority and all its glory that is delivered to me, and I can give it to whomever I desire. All of it will be yours, if therefore you prostrate yourself before me. Footnote 32. In this sentence, the terms Satan and Achel Charza, the accuser, are used interchangeably to refer to the same being. Verse 8, but Yeshua answered and said to him, it is written that you should worship Master Yahweh, your Elohim, and you should serve him alone. Footnote 33. Deuteronomy 6:13 and 14. Also in this line, Kaburas has, but Din answered Yeshua and said, whereas 1905 just has answered Yeshua and said. 1905 is corrected according to Kaburas. Verse 9, and he brought him to Jerusalem and placed him upon the edge of the temple and said to him, if you are the Son of Elohim, cast yourself down from here to below. For it is written that he will command to his messengers that concerning you to keep watch over you, and they will bear you upon their arms, or else dash your foot against a stone. Psalm 91, verse 11. For his angels shall give charge over you to keep you in all your ways. And angels are malachoh, his messengers, malachim. Verse 12. But Yeshua answered and said to him, it is said that you should not test Master Yahweh your Elohim. 35. Not tempt in the sense of Yahweh being forced to consider changing his mind, because this is impossible. Rather, Aramaic here means something closer to, don't attempt to force Yahweh to pass one of your man-made tests. See Deuteronomy 6:16. Not you shall tempt Yahweh your Elohim as you tempted him in Massah. Verse 13. And when the accuser had finished all his temptations, he departed from his presence for a while. And Yeshua returned in the power of the Spirit to Galilee, and the news concerning him went out into every region that was around them. And he would teach in their assemblies and would be praised by every man. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been raised, and he entered into the assembly as he was accustomed on the day of the Shabbat, and stood up to read. Then the scroll of the prophet Yeshayahu was given to him, and Yeshua opened the scroll and found the place where it is written, the Spirit of Master Yahweh is upon me, and because of this, he has anointed me to declare hope to the poor, and he has sent me to heal the brokenhearted and to preach release to the captives and sight to the blind. So instead of spirit, I would say ruach. And here in Aramaic, it says ruche de and instead of spirit, it is ruach of Yah. And let's look at footnote 36. See deliverance in appendix. Continuing, and to free those who are oppressed by the power of forgiveness. Aramaic literally reads, free those who are oppressed by the power of forgiveness, but that could leave the wrong impression that the power of forgiveness is oppressing them. Instead, the verse says, free those who are oppressed, have their oppression end because of the power of forgiveness. This is a great example of how a word-for-word translation could potentially result in an unintentional meaning. Verse 19, and to preach the acceptable year of Master Yahweh. Isaiah 58, verse 6, is not this the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bonds of wickedness, to undo the burdens heavy, and to let go the oppressed free, and every yoke that you break? Okay, Isaiah 61, the Ruach of Yah is upon me, because has anointed Yahweh me to preach good tidings to the poor. He has sent he to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim to the captives liberty, and to those who are bound the opening of the prison, to proclaim the year acceptable of Yahweh and the day of vengeance of our Eloheinu, to comfort all mourners, to console mourners in Zion, to give them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the ruach of heaviness, that may be called the oaks of righteousness, the planting of Yahweh, that he may be glorified. This is applicable today to console mourners in Israel. Here it is. Verse 20, and he rolled up the scroll and gave it to the minister and went and sat down. And all of those in the assembly, their eyes were fixed on him, and he began to say to them that this scripture in your ears is fulfilled today. All of them were testifying about him and were marveling at the words of blessing that were proceeding from his mouth. And they were saying, is this man not the son of Joseph or Joseph? Yeshua said to them, perhaps you might tell me this parable. Physician, heal yourself. And all that we have heard that you did in Capernaum, do here also in your city. And he said, truly I say to you that there is no prophet who is accepted in his own city. Boy, is that true. For truly I say to you that many widows there were in the house of Israel in the days of the prophet Eliyahu, when the heavens were shut up 3 years and 6 months, and a great famine was in all the land. And Eliyahu was not sent to one of them, except to Sarpa of Sidon, to a woman, a widow. And there were many lepers in the house of Israel in the days of the prophet Elisha, and not one of them was cleansed except for Naaman the Aramean. Footnote 39. The 1611 King James Version reads, many lepers were in Israel in the time of Eliseus the prophet. Elisha means Elohim is salvation. Eliseus means God is Zeus. In this respect, Christianity is a continuum of ancient Zeus-style worship. Greeks, Christmas trees, Ishtar, Easter eggs, Sunday church, the sun, and the Trinity are but a few examples of anti-Torah and anti-Mashiach pagan traditions. Try saying that in public these days. Elezeus and Jesus are hybrid names of polytheistic pedigree, which become infused into the New Testament through the translator's Hellenistic association with the modern paganism of their day. See Yeshua to Zeus in appendix. That's why we don't say Jesus. It's like saying, hey, Zeus. Verse 28. Then when those in the assembly had heard these things, all of them were filled with anger, and they rose up and cast him outside of the city, and they brought him up to the ridge of a mountain, that which their city was built upon, to cast him down from a cliff. But he passed between them and departed. After this, he went down to Capernaum, a city of Galilee, and he would teach them every Shabbat. And they were astonished at his teaching because his message had authority. And in the assembly there was a man who had a spirit of an unclean demon, and he cried out in a loud voice and said, leave me alone. What have we to do with each other, Yeshua the Nazariah? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are. You are the set apart one of Elohim. And Yeshua rebuked him and said, shut your mouth and come out from him. And the demon threw him down in the midst and departed from him, though he did not harm him at all. And a great amazement seized every man, and they were speaking with one another and saying, what indeed is this message that with authority and power he commands to unclean spirits, and they depart? And the news went out concerning him in all the regions that surround him. After Yeshua departed from the assembly, he entered into the house of Shimon. And the mother-in-law of Shimon was afflicted with a great fever, and they entreated him for her sake. And he stood over her and rebuked her fever, and it left her. And she arose and immediately was ministering to them. And at the setting of the sun, all those who were sick, who were ill with various sicknesses, brought them to him, and he would lay his hand upon them one at a time and would heal them. And many demons were also departing while crying out and saying that You are Mashiach, the son of Elohim. And he would rebuke them and would not allow them to say that they knew he was the Mashiach. Then, on the morning of the day he departed and went to a deserted place, and the crowds were seeking him, and they came to him and held tightly to him, or else he leave from their presence. And Yeshua said to them that it is necessary for me to preach to other cities the kingdom of Elohim, for because this reason I have been sent. And he would preach in the assemblies of Galilee.
What are the things that everyone else is forgetting that we can grab?
Fuel, water, dry foods or MREs, like something non-perishable to get to people. Something with pop tops too, because people don't have can openers. Definitely fuel right now. There is access to northern part of North Carolina from Tennessee, but not on the interstate. And actually on the other side, there's resources. So there's fuel, there's groceries, whereas in Asheville area, there's nothing right now. And so we're just going to use that as a place to go gather resources and come back if we need to. So we can coordinate all our efforts together and get it figured out. So,
all right, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
Bye. Dear God, I pray for the people in Asheville and all that with the hurricane. Please keep us safe. Please let us be helpful. Let us be your servants and not get in the way. And please keep us safe and get us back to our families. Amen.
Yes. Because the roads are out, there's not a straight way to get there. The roads are gone. And
right.
Once you get there, it's going to take you most of the day to get there.
Right.
Getting back here tonight is going to be difficult. So the next thing is you'll have to spend the night. Well, hotels are full. So just think about the compounding effect of all this.
Yeah, this might be a long night. This might be a real long night. So the closer we get, we're seeing a lot of places with the power out. This place has diesel. Everyone else didn't. And they're all out of gas, probably because everyone's getting gas for their generators. So we'll top off. Awesome.
We are in Edneyville, and as you go down to lower elevation, you got Chimney Rock, Lake Lure, basically Bat Cave, all these places that have been absolutely decimated. Don't go into those places. Like, first responders are going there, let them do their jobs. If you want to help, go to the outskirts with supplies, go to a firehouse or a church and figure out where to drop the stuff off. Like, don't do disaster tourism. This has ended up being sort of a hub for a lot of those places because they're all destroyed. This is the first place that you can get to. It's right next to Hendersonville. So we're kind of right on the edge of all the worst affected places right now. And a lot of the people that they're evacuating out of those areas are ending up here.
Right.
The news keeps talking about Asheville, and Asheville got hit really, really hard, but these are lesser known communities, and because they have no cell phone reception, if they find an open gas station, they can't even buy gas for their generator because they don't have credit card access.
And even if when you go about an hour away from here, you can the supplies are getting really, really scarce, but they don't even have the access to get an hour away from here.
No, and if they can, they'll run out of fuel, and then they can't get more because they don't have cash, and they can't get cash because they can't go to an ATM. Their clothes are gone, their house is destroyed, there's trailer parks buried back there that have literally been washed away. I mean, it's real life, it's bad.
Everything's changing day by day, hour by hour,
yes.
Right? So there might be a need now. What's the big need that you're hearing about people needing right now?
The biggest thing that people tell me is internet. Like if you have a mobile Starlink, or you can disconnect your Starlink and just set it up someplace and put a sign at the side of the road, that's what people need. And so communication is the big one. And just stay out of first responders' ways. Gasoline, top foods, like don't bring cans that you need a can opener for because the can opener's gone. Personal hygiene items, all that stuff's going to be useful. And honestly, just things that are going to boost morale, like a brand new unopened stuffed animal or something is going to bring a smile to a kid's face, like during something a kid shouldn't have to deal with. Drop stuff off. If you don't know where to drop stuff off, just go to Firehouse. Ask them because they're the ones doing the rescue. Stay the heck out of their way and ask them where you should be dropping off supplies because that's the best way to help. You can even bring cash. There are places that are doing business, selling whatever they have, and people can't get anything because they can't get to an ATM. If you bring cash, that's huge. They will distribute it to people for sure. But this is, dude, amazing. Like, I met some of the people yesterday, and to actually meet people whose homes have been washed away or they saw their neighbor get washed away, it puts your own little problems into perspective.
Right.
It really does. So this is huge. The fact that you guys came here with gas cans full of gasoline, and yeah, it's just,
So
huge.
how does the stuff get from here get out?
Well, a lot of people come here to pick it up. people who actually need it, like the end user will come here to pick it up. And then there are other people that they're working with that know where to bring it. You know, there are shelters. They're bringing it to shelters. People are literally coming here, I need baby formula, where can I get it? And they hand it to them. And you can tell by the looks in their faces that they actually need it.
I think we quadrupled their baby formula supply.
Yeah, I think you did. That was a lot of baby formula. And the reason that there wasn't a lot of baby formula is people are coming here for it.
Right.
Like, we're both parents, we know, like, could you imagine when you have a newborn and your whole life has been turned upside down, running out of baby formula and having no cash and no place to even get it from, and then when you do get there, they're all out of it. Even the grocery store by me is not open. Gas stations still have huge lines, and then they run out, and then when they get refilled, they run out again. Everything we brought here yesterday seems to be gone already, and so I know this hub is working.
That's awesome.
They're here late and they're here early.
Listen, I know you're busy. You got stuff to do. You got people to go check on.
Dude, we both do. Thank you for coming out. Like, seriously.
Yeah, thanks for giving us. We needed a place to go. I just got a text from Seth, and they're asking for propane and lunch meats. So people are getting hungry, and we're trying to figure out how to get them some food. I also want to see if I can get some like stuffed animal toys that we can give to like the little kids. So they got something to hold on to. 'Cause I got little kids, they love stuffed animals. So we just got we got about $2,200 worth of deli meats, bread, and we're gonna go try to grab that propane, a bunch of coolers, and we got a bunch of ice.
That's going to rescue workers. They're just distributing that everywhere. Okay. So that's huge. Butane and propane, they can use them all, and they have them all. They just, that's what they have, and that's what they use.
I bought a bunch of hot dogs. We'll buy a bunch more hot dogs. We buy burgers and burger buns.
I mean, who's going to turn that down?
Right. Let's say we could get across this.
That's possible. Crazy, potentially reckless.
But this, we can't get across that. All right, now we got to backtrack. Probably about 45 minutes, and we got to find a place we can turn around. We're running out of daylight. All right, so we're back. We learned 2 ways how not to get to North Carolina. That way up there and that way up here. We probably wasted about an hour and a half doing it. Joe, you got a plan?
No.
Okay.
It won't give us directions, no server. Get to the 70 and at least find out for ourselves. That's the next major highway, our best shot. North Carolina's trying to keep us out.
Why? There are some 280,000 customers still without power, we are being told. If you are in need of food and water, help is coming in from all over the country. Distribution sites are coming online each day. As far as search and rescue, that is ongoing. Hundreds of people are still unaccounted for. Pinder says landslides that washed out bridges are hindering crews.
We know we have pockets of people who are isolated due to landslides and bridges out.
Boil water advisory is in effect until further notice.
You guys looking for some stuff?
Yeah.
We got some. What up, Seth? I don't know, my wife was texting me and calling me, and she's like, I'm reading all this stuff online, and they're saying this, and this, and I don't know what's going on over there. All I can tell you is my experience of what was happening. And one, the community is coming together. People are helping people. That's all I saw. The churches were totally stepping up, letting people use their facilities. Most of the churches there were being used as a hub to distribute everything else out. The fire station's the same thing. Just people helping people out. That's all I saw. It was also my experience that it was extremely hard to get in to North Carolina, to that area of North Carolina. Now, we never got into the actual Asheville part. We were around it. And there was a lot of bad stuff was happening, and it's not the focus of the major players, but they still needed help. The other thing was GPS was completely giving us wrong information. We were, there was one moment that you saw that we went 45 minutes on a dirt road that was supposed to take us to where we needed to go, and it was blocked off. If we were towing a trailer, we'd still be there, because there's no possible way that we'd be able to turn around or back up a windy road like that with a trailer. And then the road that we needed to be on, GPS was telling us, don't go on this road, it's blocked, big red line, you can't go on it. As soon as we get on it, It was the nicest, cleanest. There wasn't a leaf on this road. It was perfectly clean. So I think there's something going on where GPS is trying to keep the truckers off. But then the truckers are getting on the roads that they shouldn't be on. I'm not sure why it's happening. But roads were constantly becoming open and then roads becoming shut off because something was blocked. So you have to adapt very, very fast. One, there's still a lot of hurting people in there. There's still people who are trapped. And I think we're gonna look back and see this is one of the most catastrophic hurricanes in the past 20, 30, 40 years. So they're still in a lot of need. And over the next couple weeks, this is just normal. This is how it is. We all stop noticing it. The news is not really talking about it very much, and we all go back to our regular lives. They're definitely going to need your help. The community's really stepping up. I even heard on the radio that a local well drilling company. So everyone's needing water. People are bringing water. That's awesome. But then it's getting used up so fast because they need water for everything. That a local well drilling company was like, well, we can just. They went to a church and they went to a school and they just drilled a new well, and they tapped into the underground water, which is still clean. They put a filtration system on it. Bam! That well they drilled in a day is providing tens of thousands of gallons to the community. So they're just going to keep on drilling wells. You know, like this is really cool stuff. Our original goal, the first time going down there, was to see if we could make it down there and to bring some supplies. The next time, I saw a need. We had the time. We wanted to bring some more supplies. We will probably go down again and do more, and I'm probably going to be asking for you guys for some help, and so we can get more stuff. But you know, I haven't figured that out yet. If you guys want to help, there's five things that you can do that are very important, and this is based off of my experience of going down there and talking to people. One, prayer. Like you can pray. Prayer is important. Prayer is real. Two, the easiest thing you could possibly do is just if you can donate money. Don't donate money to me. I don't want your money. I recommend Wings of Compassion. That's Jimmy from Jimmy's World. That's his organization. He made that a couple years ago. Every dollar, he doesn't need the money because none of it goes to him. Every dollar goes to helping people out. That's what I want to see. There's no bureaucratic nonsense. All the money goes to help people out. There'll be a link below. He's raising money for that too. I know Jimmy personally, and I know that's a legitimate thing, and that all the money, every penny you send to there is going to go to someone to helping someone out, like in real time. Two, if you want to bring stuff, if you want to collect stuff, see the surrounding area is getting exhausted because all the stuff got destroyed in that one area. An hour out, 2 hours out is getting exhausted. There's no gas. They're missing a lot of stuff. So if you live 3, 4, 5 hours away, all the stuff is available. And now that the dock worker strike is not a thing anymore, everything should be available. So if you want to help, if you want to bring stuff, connect with a local, connect with your local group, your church, whatever. And then connect with an organization or another church or a firehouse or a company that's on the ground. Find out what they need. Don't just assume that they need something. Find out what they need. Contact them and say, hey, we got a group, we got a church, we want to help you guys out. How do we help you guys out? Okay, you need this, and this, and then get the stuff. And then with the least amount of vehicles, rent a U-Haul truck, whatever. Go down there and drop them off at the place, and just assume that it might be hard for you to get down there. You might think it's going to take 3 hours. It might take 9. Don't take away from their resources. So don't need gas within 2 hours of the area that you're going. Don't need food within 2 hours of the area that you're going. Bring gas. Bring your own food, and it's going to take a lot longer than what you think it is going to be to get there. If you want to do even more, if you want to personally get boots on the ground and help, this might be controversial, but this is what I'm going to tell you. There's radio stations there. There's a radio station, I forget what it was, Kiss FM, or there's some. Go online, find the local big radio station, and they've got radio guys on there 24/7, and it's kind of the central hub for all this information. So listen for a couple hours. If you have enough time to go try to help out, you have enough time to listen and prepare for a couple hours, listen to what the needs are, and then call in and say, hey, I'm coming from this place, or and they're giving phone numbers right on there on the air, and call in and make a contact with someone and say, this is what I can do. How can I help? Don't just show up and think that you're just gonna find people. You know, you might get in the way by doing that. And the last thing you want to do is become a victim yourself, which now you're taking resources from someone else. You know, they got to help you, or you could get hurt. But listen to the radio station. People are calling in saying, this is my need. You know, my grandma needs this, or they need a generator here, or whatever. And then people are calling in on the other side saying, I can help. Connect me with that person. Or this is what I can bring. You know, we have a well at our house, or whatever, you know what I mean? And they're making those contacts, so it's very, very valuable. I would definitely check out one of those radio stations before you jump in your car and just start traveling. Also, we might be making another trip down there. We might need your help. We might need to load up more supplies to see what people need. And there might be some, I know for a fact, there's some very skilled people out there. We might need your help. So let's keep on praying for these people. They need our help. They need our help. Let's try to give it to them.
For more information about these videos, look at the video description and click more. You can then have links to my YouTube channel and the YouTube playlist, which has all the Aramaic English New Testament videos, Bible Hub links, and Odiote. So this is useful because you can click a chapter and go word by word through the scriptures and get details about each word and where they are used throughout the Bible.